Well, welcome to Conscious Gatherers. My name is Beverly Thompson, and I'm here with AJ Royce.
Hello.
All right, tonight's episode is number 110. So we're in season 4, ready to start season 5, and today's date is December the 26th, 2023. So this will be our last episode of this year of 2023, and it's been one hell of a ride this year.
That's one way of putting it.
Yeah. So, and we have, from my understanding, and what we've shared, especially this last year, all the things that we have seen in our visions and what we've heard or communicated with our higher selves, if you want to call it that, and other beings. And so it's continuing, and just stay centered. So that was another one of my messages today, and we're going to share those messages. Of course, we're going to share those with you today. So welcome, everybody. We're hoping you had a wonderful holiday season so far. Happy solstice, which was on the 21st, so it's officially winter. And for those of you celebrating Christmas, we hope you had a wonderful, wonderful Christmas. I did.
Yes, I did too.
Yeah, it was fun. It just felt more. I was excited, of course, because I have little grandchildren and see their little faces, and it was just a lot of fun. Watching my kids, watching their kids. So, it's, a couple of generations there. So it's, to me, it's fun just to observe the interaction. And I think a lot of you listening is going to find that what's going to be happening this 2024. I think, as I said, we're going to be on one hell of a ride. And, to observe it all, and observing other people, your own family members, and yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
So, so a lot more to come. And so we've already, in previous podcasts, have delineated a lot of what is to come in the next year, or maybe even more. But I think a lot of it's going to be, a lot of things happen in 2023, of course, but to continue into 2024.
I guess this is where that song that I've been hearing this the last part of the day, keep hearing it in my head. I think this is where this fits in. There was a song from, I believe it was Sister Act 2, and the words go, if you want to be somebody, if you want to go somewhere, then you better wake up and pay attention. So keep your eyes open, keep your wits about you, and adapt, because things are going to be changing.
Yeah, pretty drastically, I believe. So it's like, wow. All right. Where do we want to go first? I know I'm going to start.
Okay.
This is a little bit off of some of the other things we're going to share, but I've been seeing the 1111s or the 111s or 101, 30 some years. And it started before I moved to where I am today, but anyway, it continues. And last couple days, maybe 3 days now, it's been what I call in my face. It's been constant. Not only time on the clock, but I'll look at other things. 101, 111. I mean, it's like, wow. And Miss Royce here says, well, that's binary code.
Yeah, the ones and zeros, So maybe that means the shutting down of the old program.
You're right. That's what it says, okay, are we moving into another simulation? She goes, wait a minute. I wanted to call it a simulation, but in essence it is, because it's taking our consciousness, our combined consciousness into the one that we are, and we create our own reality. So so in other words, this is created by us, and it's probably why it's in my face, a 111, so we can start talking about this, and because it is us that is creating this. And so that's one, definitely a reminder.
Yeah, I had an experience today where I actually saw another reality happening in the reality that I felt I was in. It gets a little trippy when that happens, if you're not like paying attention, like the song says, it can really make you feel like you're going crazy.
Yeah,
you're kind of crazy.
Yeah. I've been called batshit crazy, to put it bluntly. So, I think I've been hearing other people say the same word. And when somebody said that to me, I laughed actually, because it was like, I've been getting this information for years, and I've been, expanding on it.
Yeah, but we've been getting this thing about the merging of realities, for quite some time now. And so we are experiencing it. So even when you're forewarned, though, it does kind of catch you off guard a little bit when you see it and feel it happening. Yeah.
So those of you listening, I got a feeling it's happening to you too.
Yeah, or else we wouldn't be bringing it up.
Exactly. So it's where you put your focus, because we can go anywhere. We can go in other timelines, backwards, forward. Mm-hmm. You go back to go forward, or you go forward to go back. And so we're noticing this happening fairly often of late. Mm-hmm. And we won't go into all of that because we really can't do that at this time.
Yeah.
So just put it this way. Our Earth is extremely important in this whole process that is going on.
Yes, it is.
And my books basically say it's a coming together of nations, and we're hearing more
cosmic nations.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's where my focus is. So it's like everybody's supposed to know where my focus is. So in other words, you need to explain things once in a while. So thank you. But not everything is hunky dory, so to speak, out in the cosmos. And but this is one of the reasons why we're so important at this time on this earth, because we're such a combination of. And so what happens here, because of how powerful we all are, that extends out into the cosmos. So what we term is space. Mm-hmm. So we may start looking at space a little bit differently once we are fully awake. That okay, where am I going with all this?
But this is quite a proving ground here, on the earth, and we're at a very critical and crucial time right now. We're living it for all posterity. It's like it's all being played out right now. We're trying our best to put the pieces together and put them together correctly this time, because we've been through these stories before. This is not the first time that civilization has, come up against some hard times. We have totally undone ourselves before and got started over. So here we are on the umpteenth try.
And this is it.
Yeah, and we are going to make it this time.
Yeah. We did a podcast called Groundhog Day a while back. And actually, it was a great episode. I may have to go back and listen to it myself. And we've gone through these things so many different times, but what we term time. But this time, it's really hard not to say that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, this go around is that we're going to go through the barriers that we have placed, or have been placed, we have placed. I think it's a little bit of both, because it's all us anyway.
Yeah,
that's really tough thing to look at. All right. I'm going to share a little bit of what I got at first. Then I would love for Royce to follow up, and
Sure.
and then I'm going to follow up with one more thing. So, all right. Here's what I was hearing earlier today. You can call it channeling. So that was what was coming to me. And I was talking to a friend, so I'm trying to remember a lot of it, and as this was coming through. So please use discernment, and time is flexible. So I did get a date, kind of a date. So, still, I don't put that into this is definite, because that can always change. But anyway, I'm going to go with it, and it's fairly short here. All right, first words I heard was heads up, stay alert. Okay. Said multiple happenings are showing themselves, and this is increasing. And then I heard should all be concerned. In other words, it's something to be concerned about. I mean, I've been hearing a lot of some great stuff and some not so great stuff. So when I say stuff, that means what's going on in this world, what is to go on, what's been planned, so-called planned, and is that by the the division makers is another word of saying not so nice people, or by others that want the best for humanity. So anyway, should all be concerned? And the answer was, well, it depends upon who you are, because indeed the not so nice ones are falling, and they're falling fast. And there's just been a lot of junk going on out there that needs to stop. I think most of you listening to this will agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to add on to that yet?
Nope.
All right. So the next thing I heard, it is like a tidal wave. And I was seeing that people were kind of walking around almost dazed and feeling lost. And, all this unease. But I heard unease turns to jubilation.
Mm-hmm.
And so the changes are going to be felt like a switch has been turned off. In other words, it's going to be felt. And this feeling is going to be like a newfound freedom. And it's hard to really describe that, but it's something I think we're all going to feel, at least most everybody. And it's like a switch has been flipped. So I did hear that there's going to be big changes, and this is the date, in February of 2024. So we're, just weeks away. So I do think January, well, things are happening today, but January, more information is going to be revealed, and a lot of us are going to say, what? I think we have been saying that for quite a while. What? So, but just know that a big month is going to be this February. So at least that's what I heard. Again, you can listen, hear that, but just don't say. I don't want to say things are definitely big are going to happen, but we'll see. I want to get out of this date thing, so trying to get through it. So anyway, that's what I wanted to share so far, and in a moment I'll share a little bit more. All right.
So now?
Yeah, please.
Okay, this is the insight that I got. It is time to take command of your thoughts and actions continuously. Only through doing this will you keep your equilibrium and moral compass aligned. When a society has been misaligned with that which is truth for as long as this or our society has been experiencing and co-creative with, it takes fortitude, strength of will, and extreme focus to shift toward and into that which is truth. It is something worthy of being accomplished, for these efforts make all the difference. It is worth the effort to stay true to the compass built within. The effort and the focus change the outcome for all concerned. Keep the light burning brightly. It cannot be extinguished, but it can be hidden. Lift the bushel and let it shine so that others may be led to the light and urged to uncover their own. So that reference there of lifting the bushel, there's a passage in biblical text that talks about, uncovering the light, by lifting the bushel off the light so that others can see it shine.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot was said in there, a lot. Gee, I wanted you to explain some more of this, or just again, to take some of those words and expand on them. It's to be totally, what I'm getting, focused on the light that we have been so blinded. Is this?
Yeah. It talks about our society has been experiencing and co-creative with being misaligned.
Yeah.
Misaligned with that which is truth. So, when all is said and done, it really doesn't take a whole lot, but it does take focus.
Mm-hmm.
For eons, we've been experiencing this type of behavior.
Because it's the way it has been, the way it is, the way it has been.
Yeah, and that's the way people think. Well, that's the way it is. It's just the way it is, And why do you want to change the way it is? Well, it ain't working. That's why. And
Not
I
anymore.
say that slangly, but it's just not working. All you have to do is just open your eyes and look around. It's not working what we've been doing, so it's time to let our light shine.
Raise that bushel.
Yeah,
that makes sense, because it's really not a heavy. A bushel doesn't necessarily have to be heavy. I'm seeing it as a basket.
Yeah.
It's just hiding. It's just lifting it off. It's like, oh, wow.
Yeah, it says that the light cannot be extinguished, but it can be hidden.
And that's what we're bringing out within each of ourselves.
Yeah.
And some of us are going to be saying, how did I fall for that? And we may admonish ourselves, but just watch when you do that. I would have to say almost all of us have done that in one way or another. We fell for something that was being told. When I say fell, that's even an interesting word to use.
Yeah.
If we fell for it, that means that we believed in what they were saying and it wasn't the truth. So, it's that truth has really been coming out. In fact, the next segment of my insights today is truth tellers. So we'll just go into that.
Sure. But you were saying just not to beat yourself up. Just lift yourself up by your bootstraps and just take another step. Take a deep breath and just keep on going. Yeah. All of us do things that we wish we hadn't, and we, like you said, fall for things that we get hoodwinked. Our whole society's been hoodwinked. So it's just time to wake up. So let's do it.
The word hoodwinked. It's kind of an interesting word when you start breaking that down, right?
Yeah, it is.
All right. Insight. Be ready. This is truth tellers. Pardon me. Be ready for the truth to totally come out. The forecast may be cloudy, but the truth will be clear. That's kind of interesting how that's said, isn't it?
I like that.
Yeah. Indeed, the dominoes are falling in all categories on this earth plane. So, like all categories. Like, okay. The circus acts are almost over. Characters are revealing themselves. All is in play. Time to open the curtains, and the players or the actors take a bow. Pretty interesting how that was all said.
Yep.
It's our turn. That's all of us. This is humanity. It is our turn to ramp it up, and that is to come to a peace within. It's within ourselves. Stay centered. We all are in this together to bring this earth to the garden it once was. We all have an impact as this finale comes into a clearer view. So that's what's happening. We can go into all the categories. We've talked in previous episodes about, of course, the political scene. I mean, that's obvious. The healthcare, that's all changing. That whole scene is changing. Going from the pharmaceutical companies into more of the vibrational medicine.
Well, if you look on the shelves now, you're seeing an awful lot of homeopathic concoctions available, whereas they used to be poo-pooed at by the very companies that are now putting them out because they're seeing the worth in it. And people have been walking around like zombies, addicted to all of this other stuff that's just not working. It's not healing anybody. But when you're dealing with the vibrational changes, that's something that really goes somewhere. Pardon me. You've got a foundation to build from then.
Because we already are vibration.
Yes.
So we're just lifting up that vibration. Now, there are some people that may decide to stay in the lower vibrations, and they will be walking around like zombies.
Yeah.
Because they're not.
That's their choice.
It's their choice. And we all want to help them, but
not everyone wants to be helped.
Exactly. You can suggest it, but you can't. What do you call that? Take a horse to, what was that?
Lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Yeah, thank you. so that sort of thing. So, yeah, number one is take care of yourself. The more you take care of yourself, is that you're letting your light shine, as Roy said about lifting the bushel, and because your light's already there, you're just removing it so now it can be seen.
Yeah,
and utilized.
Excuse me. Since so many of us like to be those people who help other people, and it's I have found it a difficult thing to wake up to the fact that that's not always the wisest way to go. But when you work on yourself and you do the best that you can do and live your life to the best that you can, you're able to do things, actually do something for this planet and for all the life here, instead of just being a follower that's just falling into the same old rut that doesn't work.
So I think that's one of the biggest things, because I think we mentioned this in the last episode, but it's like people want to be told what to do.
Yeah.
And that can be a couple different things. We can learn, like we go to school and learn how things work, and then we take it another step further against take it. And there's those that have done that, and they've been just thinking about one gentleman I was listening to as a rocket scientist as a teenager, and I just mentioned his name because he's got some videos out, and that's David Adair. So I've been listening to some of his episodes, and he developed this rocket at age 17, and then how the government got a hold of his abilities, and then what he went through. I was like, oh my gosh. So he had to hide some of these things, and that is that some of the stuff is coming out, because I tell you what, these people aren't going to be able to hide anymore, and they won't be squished. I mean, they tried to take him out, and some of these people have been taken out. When I say taken out, killed, or some of them just take off to a safe haven. and so they can't be found because they don't want some of these technologies out. But anyway, I feel that it's all coming to an end, and it's being exposed for what has gone on, and that's why these people are finally speaking out. And a lot of these people are a lot older, and they've been through. They have stories to tell, and it's like pretty amazing the stories that are coming out. So I know each of us has our own story. I put that in plural, stories, and we're starting to realize what some of those stories are. And as Royce mentioned earlier, it's understanding that you're in two places at once, and you're in two different timelines, you're in two different places. It's kind of
but to see them coming together, and it's just, whoa, heavy.
That can get heavy. I mean, we were laughing about it now, and I guess we laughed at it when it happened, because I'm like, But I think a lot of you are seeing this within yourself, and if you're not, that's okay. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen. If it doesn't happen, so be it, because everybody, again, is different, and we each have our own path within this wholeness of each of ourselves.
Yeah, and we were talking about the making the most of what you have to offer yourself, and with that, it's like when you hand the keys to a teenager, you don't just hand it to them without any training, and it's just like the game of life. You need a little wisdom under your belt before you really learn how to play the game well. and the reason why I'm saying that is because just because you might know how to do something doesn't mean that you should. And I think this came out with Oppenheimer, with all that he offered to science. There was a lot of power unleashed, but it's just because you learn about how the universe works doesn't mean that you should be wielding that power
or have the right to.
That's right. It's like, with the bomb comes the responsibility of not using it. It's like having that technology, using it for something really that's going to be beneficial for all concerned. Because Oppenheimer ended up feeling like, he had blood on his hands. And that would be a very heavy load to carry.
On Earth that feel that they're here to for their own reasons, and there's lots of names that we give these people, but boy, trying to remember how I was going to state this. Shoot, help me out. You don't know what I'm going to say.
Mm-mm.
All right. Their utilization of them, they feel themselves in a hierarchy, and some of these people, and then we're just the pawns in the game, and that is what's changing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's what you're saying.
and so there will not be even a need for any warring. And I think a lot of people are afraid of World War III, all this stuff that's being broadcast out there, which, and I guess it could come to that. But then as I'm seeing, as we get through these times, that won't even be a thought process anymore.
Yeah.
And so it's, that's why I got that, what was it, something turned to, Jubilation, yeah. Unease, Unease, turns into Jubilation. So, I feel that's what's going to happen. And so it's going to be a just conglomeration of lots of different cultures and ideas, and people will be sharing more openly, feel more open to do so, not be afraid who's listening, all of those things that, having the VPI so somebody can't track what you're doing, all these, things. It's like, it really makes no sense that we don't have that, or don't feel we have that freedom. We have that freedom, but a lot of people are afraid because they fear for their lives, and I understand that. And but eventually, I think anything and everything can be spoken without any fear of any retribution. So I feel that's where we're going, and it may take a couple of years to get there, because it's just a whole nother way of thinking that we're going to start feeling. And what I was getting today again is like that a switch goes on, and it's like we're feeling a newfound freedom.
Yeah.
Well, that's the way it was put, and I can understand that. So it's at that deep feeling that's within us.
Well, thank you for letting me horn in on what you were going to say and take us down that road.
I wanted you to. I wanted you to. So, yeah, it's certainly interesting times. Hang in there as we go into finish up this year into 2024. Yeah, there's a lot more to that. We'll, probably won't be able to believe our eyes or ears of what we're hearing, but it sounds like to me that the truth is coming out, and it'll be, even though we have CGI and all these other things going on, that we'll know that it is the truth, and it can't be hidden.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you all a wonderful new year as we bring into more of ourselves, of love and the light, the peace, the joy, and just have fun.
Oh, that's a big word, having fun, just laughing, enjoying life. Just grab a hold of it wherever you can.
It's in you.
Yes, it is.
So just let it out. You can do silly stuff. We all, I think most of us do, silly stuff, and whatever that means.
Yeah, and sometimes we wait for somebody else to tell us what we can do for fun. Well, make your own fun, Yeah. Enjoy your day. Just because other people around you might not be enjoying their day doesn't mean that you can't.
With you saying that, it's just, I think we're all going to become more inventive.
Yeah.
Because whatever your fun is, it doesn't have to be something that's already printed out and go back and play little games or whatever it may be. You can do it with yourself, or you can do it with somebody else. And just sometimes I'll just say something out of the blue, or you did at the last podcast, and we're trying to come up with some of what to put on what we talked about on our YouTube channel page.
Yeah.
And then Miss Royce went somewhere that I looked at her and said, what?
And we had the biggest laugh. I mean, I haven't laughed that hard, and I can't tell you when. I mean, we had tears in our eyes. We were laughing so hard, could hardly catch our breath. It was, it just caught us both off guard and
So caught off guard, yeah. So those things are going to happen, and just let it go. And I tell you what, that is one of the best medicines. So, anyways, it's fun, and if you have these thoughts, and all of a sudden you state it, and then you're like, and it's like, what?
It made no sense.
Exactly. There's a reason behind it, but especially when you start living in realizing that we're living in more than one reality, or bridging timelines, that some things are going to come out, and you're like, where did that come from? But it's okay, and then you can laugh about it, but then you realize how that affects what we term this lifetime. I know, it's quite a conundrum, isn't it?
Well, I want you to know that I love you all so very much, and I'm just so grateful to be here on this planet with you at this particular time, with all of the work that we're doing, moving forward in a time that for all intents and purposes looks very difficult, and at times feels very difficult. But just keep on going. We're making our way through this, and I love you for it. I am so grateful that you decided to stay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I love you. May peace, joy, happiness, just love, just exude from you. And if it may not feel that way right now, it will.
Yeah.
Just forgive yourself for any transgressions, which is a big part of it, because tell you what, those, the energies are forcing that up.
Yeah, letting go of stuff.
And people are like, some are flipping out. And so do be careful driving, or be a defensive driver. But know that is going on too. And it's allowing people to let it out, and so they can get on with their lives and have a beautiful, peaceful life.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll be back in 2 weeks. And we decided at this time that we will not, we usually post this at 7 o'clock on Tuesdays, Tuesday evenings, Eastern Standard Time. And we really don't have any live listeners. So we thank you all for listening to us later on. But we decided not to do that at any specific time, or do it where you can all listen. If you all want to, let us know, and we'll make that available. Yeah. But since it hasn't happened for quite a while, we decided to not be restricted to that timeline anymore.
Yeah. So we'll see how it works out.
Yeah. And then I still feel something's going to come up, and I'm not sure what that is yet. So
don't know what it looks like.
We'll let you know when we know.
Yeah.
All right. Good night, and bless you all, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.